Well, hey. It's TUNAP and
And to you an app.
Dr. Michael Gross. We're thrilled to be here today. It's our regular Sunday at 2 o'clock, and we love coming and sharing valuable information that Dr. Gross brings us. I almost called you someone else. We've had a lot of fun today, and I think it's just carrying over into this message. But what I wanted to, our topic today is food for thought, and how appropriate with the holiday seasons, right? We're all thinking about food, and ironically, that's the topic that Michael's going to talk to us about today. But before we get into that, I wanted to take a minute and thank everybody for spending their Sunday with us. Your time is valuable, and we want to make sure that we acknowledge that. So if there's any questions that you ever have, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and we'll address them either at the time or we will address them maybe in another Sunday afternoon call. So on that note, Dr. Michael Gross is the catalyst for why that's him. He's the reason I'm here doing these things like Facebook Lives, okay? And it's because he's the author of The Spiritual Primer. And best book I've ever read.
And to you,
Totally.
the author of Healing the Holes in Your Soul. It's a story of reclamation of finding herself, her self-worth, her self-love, and self-esteem. The story of her rising from the ashes like the phoenix. It's a must-read, and it's very powerful, and will inspire all of you. And I really admire her for sharing this story with all of you. It's really beautiful. Thank you to you.
Thank you, Michael. If it wasn't for your book, especially chapter 3, that book wouldn't have been written. And on that note, he has a vast repertoire of information to share with us. Today, we're going to keep it focused on food for thought. But before we do, I'm going to take a minute to introduce him formally, because we don't have any scripts. We talk and we kind of get a little carried away because, well, Michael says that we were brother and sister. We were twins in a past life. And I wanted an older brother so bad I kicked him out of the womb first.
Well, tell the rest of the story about a meditation that you had.
Okay. He's going to make me share it again. Okay. Look at his head. Okay. I did a meditation not too awfully long ago, and I never used to meditate until I met Michael. I thought, I can't do that. And what I realized was that I had so much noise going on in my head, it was distracting me. And when I learned how to actually quiet the noise in my head, I meditate all the time now, every day, sometimes a couple times a day. And in one meditation recently, I met our mother from a past life. I know people probably think I'm a little bit nuts, right, Michael? But I saw her, and she told me that she is so proud of us and that we were able to come together in this life. And she's the most beautiful soul and an amazing woman who I am so thrilled to be connected with on, in that realm, okay? Spirituality is definitely something that we should all be aware of. And I had to say that, okay, Michael, because you made me talk about our mom.
Yeah, she was beautiful. And I told you I looked just like her.
Yep. And you know what, Michael? We carry her unconditional love with us.
Yes, we do. Amazing woman. We learned a lot from her.
We did. And I've learned a lot from you as my brother and as my mentor, my coach, my dearest friend. So on that note, let's not get too mushy.
Okay.
Let's not get too mushy because the rest of the world's going to go, what are they up to? So I'm going to give you your teeny weeny part of the scripted thing, and everything else is all I can't even read this one right sometimes. It's too funny. But Dr. Michael Gross is an author, a professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on the spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and a teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. He's helped me find mine. I'm so honored and blessed that he found me and taught me that. And it just keeps getting better. So on that note, that wasn't in the script. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the True Source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. He remains humble, knowing the work he does all comes from God, the True Source. He lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has just launched his nonprofit. I'm going to let you give the
International Institute of Self-Empowerment. And the International Institute of Self-Empowerment is all about bringing self-empowerment. And one of the causes that we're taking on, there are 3, maybe 4, but the first one is abused women, children, and men. And I want to thank you for giving me that idea, and True Source blessing that idea. And she's director of abuse, and we're now in the fundraising and looking for grants, and we're going as fast as we humanly can, but I know it will come to fruition, and I know that we're going to help a lot of people. I thought I'd just let all of you know that we're a 501(c), and if you are about to file taxes or whatever time of this year and you're looking for a tax deduction, please consider us, or for any other occasion, to honor anybody that's ever been abused or lost their life from abuse. Be a beautiful thing to do. So we welcome any and all contributions. I'm not intentionally soliciting it, although I guess in a way I am, but the cause is so powerful, and I've learned so much from Tiu. I'm watching her grow and change, that it's really amazing. And this is part of my food for thoughts. But do you want to add anything to you before I get into it?
The one thing I will throw in really quick is I never thought when I was going through all that stuff, the physical, the domestic violence and stuff, I thought I didn't get hurt that bad. There are other people out there that struggled a lot more than me. But in learning that in the healing journey of writing the book, what I realized was that not only are people going through that kind of abuse, but there's many, many different types of abuse, even being bullied. Somebody at school could say something to your child. They could, there are so many different avenues of abuse. And I believe that your nonprofit, Michael, the one that I'm honored to be part of, is there to help anyone who feels like there's something missing in their life, who has been suffering. The 86%, I believe I read, 86% of the global population suffers from low self-esteem. Why is that? Because somewhere along the way, something happened to them. And that's part of what the nonprofit is there to do as well. So whether you've ever been, realize that you've been abused or not, if there's something missing in your life, you could benefit from this nonprofit yourself. So on that note, that's my little food for thought. And I think we should just turn it over to you, Michael, to talk about our topic, because we've already chatted for a while.
That's all right. That's really very powerful what you shared. In talking about food for thought, I wanted to share so much with you. I got some glare on my glasses. And one of the things I wanted to share with all of you is that everything that occurs in our life, we're thinking about. And one of my favorite expressions from the True Source is, are you a servant of your fears or master of your life? And that's part of the food for thought. And I chose the word, actually, I didn't, the True Source did. Food for thought is, think about food. It nurtures our body, gives us energy, does all kinds of things. It also causes little extra growth on our body, so to speak. We overdo it. But part of the food for thought is exactly our experiences. So I'd like you to look at this time as food for thought is experiences in your life and experiences in my life. And I want to share some things with you that revelations I've had. I'm sure Tia will want to when she feels she needs to. But more importantly is remember that sometimes we are chained to the past. And we're chained to the past of our experiences. And a couple of beautiful thoughts of wisdom the true source has given me to share is the past predicts the present predicts the future. So if we're always living in the past, it's going to be in the present. And if we're living in the present, it's going to predict the future. But even more so, I'd like you to think about a little story that I want to share. I may have shared it previously, but I feel I need to share it again. And when they take a baby elephant and they capture it, they take a rope and tie it around his foot, take a huge peg, and they put it in the ground very deep, and the elephant tries to pull away and can't. Now the elephant's full grown, let's say it weighs several tons, and it's got a chain or a rope around its foot and puts a peg in there. And the elephant doesn't try to break away. And yet that thin little peg with a 2.5, 3-ton animal can pull it out like you would pull a toothpick through warm butter. But it lives in the past. So, well, I couldn't break it when I was a baby, and here I am 20 years, 15 years old. I can't do it. And that's part of the food for thought, because that's what you're thinking. You're living in the past and saying all these things that happened in the past showed me I'm a failure, or I can't do it, or I'm successful. Or maybe you're tired and you don't want to challenge it. So you live in your own jail, chained to the past, just like that elephant is. You probably never thought it that way. But that is a way of our human thinking. And yet, one other thing I posted was that failure means success. Failure is no such thing. It is only an illusion of your mind, because you learned what worked and didn't work. So I don't see that as failure. I see as success, learning new things. And part of the food for thought is take time now as you're listening to what I have to say, and maybe even afterwards or in a few days, and think about what is it in my life that is slowing me down? What is it in my life that's blocking me? We need to think about that. What is it in my life? And one of the other analogies I like to talk about is a little seed of grass. How many times have you and I walked down the street where there's tar or cement, and there's a crack, and the little blade of grass is growing through that crack? Now that seed didn't realize, well, I'm covered by cement or I'm covered by tar and I can't grow. But it found a way out, found a way to grow and flourish. And that's what this is about, finding a way to grow and flourish and leaving the past behind. Think about the past. Like I said, failure means success. Look at all the things you've learned from the past. Look at how you began to formulate your life. Take to you, for example, all the abuse that you went through. And when I was talking to her, and I said this before, she said, I'm going to think everybody ever abused me. And I said, why? And she said, because they made me the woman I am, that I'm going to help other women and children and men. Think about all those things in your life that were painful. Maybe you caused some of the things by your belligerence. Maybe you were just an innocent victim. Maybe you just wanted to create chaos to get attention. And maybe you forgot about self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Because that's what we're all here about. And you know that's a common theme of mine. But talking about the food for thought, is that we're always thinking 24/7. And I call it analogical, which is the analytical and logical part of ourselves. We're always looking for a remedy or a justification for everything. What if the justification is, I just want to experience it? What if the justification is, I want to know what it's like? What if the justification is, I want to grow from this? Maybe that's all it is. But yet we give a lot of energy to everything that's happened in our life. And then they go, oh, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Well, you know, at a certain age, you can be considered a victim. But once you get into adulthood, there are no victims. We allow ourselves to become victims. We allow ourselves to become trapped. We allow ourselves to live in an emotional prison. We allow others to put us down, take away our self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. We allow it. And of course, you go, well, I couldn't get away from it or I was stuck. My answer is you won't. And you have the strength. I know Tia wants to say something. Go ahead.
I do. Thank you. One of the things you were saying was that we all allow ourselves to be the victim. And you're absolutely right. And the thing I wanted to say was that I quit trying to fight for what I believed in, because every time I did, the end result was ugly. And so I did become the victim. And even when the abuser was gone and life was better, I was still living in the prison of the fear. The door was wide open. I could leave anytime. Okay, hypothetically, where I live now is a whole lot better than I've ever experienced before. But I was still a prisoner to my fears from the past until I met you, and you've been working with me, and I recognize that. And there's a very, very strong feeling of freedom, of liberation when you finally walk out of that door and you look around for the very first time and you realize, I do have choices. I've always had choices. I just I gave up on myself. And that's how that's what I had done. I conceded when everybody said, oh, you can't do that, or you're not smart enough, or whatever it was. I believed everybody else because I didn't have the faith in myself and the confidence that I needed. And, sometimes that's what we end up doing because it's the easier, softer way. It's the comfort zone that we're used to living in. And fear is a scary place. But, sticking in the comfort zone and never reaching forward, you find your courage when you face your fear. And I just wanted to add that. Because the best part is when you get through that and you really get to grow and learn who you are. Thank you.
Thank you for the words of wisdom. How true. And thinking about what you were saying is that one of the ways in which we're controlled by our ego, remember edging God out, or others, is guilt. It's all your fault. You become the victim and it's all this and all that. You look around one day and you go, look, maybe it can be my fault 99% of the time, but it can't be 100% of the time. Actually, it's much less, but I'm using that as an example. And that's when you become the mouse that roared. You go, enough. I've had it. I'm done. The one thing that if you're ever in a relationship, whether it's working with someone or husband, wife, children, whatever it may be, you need to realize that there's a solution to everything. And it requires you to stand up. It requires you to say, my favorite saying is, you're unlimited and I can do anything. And the truth is, you can do anything. I've spoken to people who grew up poor and penniless, who are very financially successful, because they said, there must be a way and I can do this. I've spoken to people who are abused. I've talked to people who were penniless, they were on drugs and so on. And the food for thought is, I can do this. I can rise out of the gutter. And today, they're very, very successful. No one handed them a silver platter. They just went out and did it. One step at a time, sometimes slipping, sometimes falling, but they did it. And one of the things I posted on my Facebook is very important, and that is winners may fall, but they always pick themselves up again. And think about it, you're a winner. Even though you may fall a trip, you pick yourself up again. You start all over again. Remember Kentucky Colonel at 80 or 75, he had his dream, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And there are many other people that have gone through the same thing. And that's something you need to realize. Because change your food for thought is that I'm no good, I'm a victim, I can't achieve my dreams, etc. That's part of what you think. That you're unlimited and I can do anything. And the truth is, you can do anything. You don't have to be stuck in the emotional world of guilt, lack of self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. You don't have to be tied in a relationship that does not respect you or put you down. And the most important thing is for food for thought. You have to teach people how you want to be treated. You have to educate people how you want to be treated. And you, in turn, should listen to them, how they should be treated. Now, that's really a catch-22. Because in some relationships, well, this is what I expect of you, and blah, 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 blah. And literally you become a slave. It's not an even balance. And in life, we are always seeking balance. And with that balance is how we grow. And sometimes we have to go through the marshes and the quicksand to come out whole. Because that's where we chose to learn it. Or we can wake up one day and say, no, I am worthy. I am worth more than that. And that's when you emancipate yourself. That's when you heal the holes in your soul. And that's when you start marching forward to the beat of your own drum. Not in an egotistical way, but realize that you are not here to suffer, to be 14th class, or to be a victim, or to be abused, or taken advantage of. Now, in truth, sometimes we take advantage of people or we put them down or use them. And sometimes we're doing it unintentionally. And when we do that, we need to have the other parties call it to our attention. You know, I talk to so many friends, they all talk about each other. Oh, he's this, she's this, blah, 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 blah. And then there's one lone voice says, but maybe that's how they chose to learn life. We have to honor it. Well, that's stupid. And don't let that dismay you. Because in my path, I was told it was stupid, it was dumb, it was foolish, all these things. And now the worm has turned. People have realized it's not quite that way. And realize that we are beautiful souls experiencing life and going forward with every experience and growing. And that's what your life is about. So instead of starting at the appetizer for your dinner, which is all the trials and doubts and tribulations, and then you get to the entree, which is in your thick of things. What's the best part of the meal most people think about? The dessert. Yeah.
Dessert.
It's the dessert, whether it's flan or whether it's cheesecake or a triple layer chocolate cake or a pot, whatever it is. Go for the dessert in your food for thought. Because the dessert means you are now doing what gives you joy and pleasure in your life. Which means you got to get through the appetizer, through the entree, to get to the dessert. So you got to get through your fears and doubts, realize your experiences, realize I've learned and grown, and now cut the chains of the past to have joy and happiness, and that's the dessert. And right now, all of you listening to me, you can have the dessert. Go for it. I don't care what's in your life. You can go for it, even if you're infirm or you're sick or you're ill. Go for the dessert. Because you know what? You deserve it. No one has lived your life except you. Others have observed it, but no one can feel it. Like the Native Americans, never judge a person till you walk a mile in their moccasins. Such great, wonderful wisdom. You are a plethora of wisdom. Every experience has gained knowledge. Every experience in you has made you the woman or man or child, whomever you are. And that's priceless because you earned it. You had the Purple Heart Congressional Medal of Honor, which others have been afraid to, or relegated to not achieving their dreams and feeling like they're in prison. How are we doing on time?
We're going to have to wrap it up in a minute. We've got about 4 more minutes. But Michael, do you remember the quote? I think it was the Les Brown quote where the graveyard is the richest place in the world.
I don't remember all of it, but I remember hearing it. Yes.
Yeah, that's where dreams die. The one thing that you just reminded me of when you were just speaking is that the worst thing that we can do when it's our turn to birth out is look back on our life and realize we've had a life filled with regrets, things that we didn't do, the trips that we didn't take, the I love yous we didn't say, maybe the books we didn't write, the music we didn't play. Don't live with any regrets. Make sure you live and love and laugh hard, because that's where the dessert is.
Exactly. And you can't relive your life when it's over. It's done. So you're right. Go for the dessert all the time. And this dessert, it's not fattening.
That's
It's
true.
empowering.
That's true.
Before we close off, I want to remind everybody that on Tuesday evening, from 6:30 Pacific time to 7:30 Pacific time, sometimes a little bit over, it's a chance for all of you to call in and ask any kind of a question you want. And hopefully I can answer them, and then I deliver a 10-minute messages. There's 204 or 5, I forgot how many now. And they will be putting on YouTube the audio with some of the wonderful photography that TU does with a quote. And I want to encourage all of you to come and listen and ask questions and observe on Tuesday night. And the telephone number is?
And the telephone number is 202-926-1059. And the access code?
125-446-pound.
He does that so well. Okay, one more time. It's 202-926-1059.
And the access code is 125-446-pound. And while we're at it, I should go pound, but I wanted to get this thought off my mind. The second Saturday of every month, we do a mass consciousness healing for the planet and all its inhabitants. And the numbers that TU just gave you is the access number. And it's 9:55 Pacific Standard Time to 11:01 Pacific Standard Time. So the first 5 minutes, we kind of chat for a minute. I deliver a message. And then somewhere around 10:05, we go into silence. So if you call in late and you hear silence, it means we're already meditating, asking the true source to send unconditional love. And the number she just gave you with the access code of 125-446-pound is how you access it. But we also have what I terminate. You like that? Which I terminate. I guess it is terminating. My terminology that I use. What planet are you on? I don't know. You can listen to the replays. There are 203 or 4. And when you're bored, stuck in traffic, turn on your your beautiful phone, put it through your YouTube, listen to it in the car if you can. And here's that number for the replays.
Okay. All the replays and all the other numbers and the information, contact information, and everything that we're giving you now, we're going to also leave it in the comments. But the recordings you can access 24/7, and that number is 434-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125-446 pound.
One more time on the number. It's 434-300-4170. Here you go.
Access code is 125-446 pound. Really, if you will listen to these messages, it will change your life. Not that it comes from me, but it's channeled from the true source. And that information is all about everything that you need to listen to empower yourself, to have self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. Because, my motto is, you are unlimited.
Well,
go ahead.
One more time. Here's Michael's book. Whoops. There we go. Those silly halo lights. Here we go. The Spiritual Primer by Dr. Michael Gross. And
Healing the Holes in Your Soul Once I Get It Focused. Back to you now. It's
these are, just remember that these kind of go together, don't you think, Michael?
Yes, they're brother and sister.
They make awesome gifts.
It's
a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, it is. It will change your life reading our books. And we're going to have more, we know, as time goes by.
Yeah, he's already working on another one, and I've got one percolating.
And the greatest gift we can give each other is the gift of knowingness, of empowerment, and of love. And I want all of you to know, once again, you were created out of love, by love, from love, and with love. And to you and I, love all of you for being here, because we learn and grow from you. And I used to have a saying when I was in marketing and sales, I'm only as smart as my customers make me. And I'm only as smart as the true source gives me information to share with you. So I thank all of you for giving up your time. I thank you for the love, for your positive feedback, for listening to this podcast and sharing it with others. To you, do you want to close?
I do. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And with the holidays ahead, stay safe. Remember that we love you, and the world needs positive energy. The world needs so much more unconditional love right now. It's in so much chaos. So, even if you just simply smile at someone, give a kind word, a friendly nod, acknowledge, hold a door for someone at the grocery store. That matters. Those are positive pieces of energy that you put in the universe. And that's what we need right now. A little bit of kindness goes a long way. So on that note, Michael, thank you once again for sharing your valuable time with us, for sharing your incredible message with us, and for sharing with me how amazing it feels to finally have self-love, self-worth, and self-esteem. I'm honored to be your friend. I really, truly am. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. We come every Sunday at 2:00. And any other last minute messages? I'm stumbling here.
No, thank you so much. No, we love you and appreciate you. We watching this and you telling others that what makes our message so special. Because directly and indirectly, you're empowering and healing others by sharing this podcast with them. Everybody have a great week. Namaste.
Namaste. Happy holidays.
Love you.